Step inside the vibe, welcome to the flow. From the mind of Lil Joe, where the stories grow. Laid back wisdom, smooth as Sunday brunch. A live authority hits you with the punch. Lil Joe's mind, a maze of gold. From jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul. Talking about the world from the wild to the mild. Every topic on the table, thoughts free and wild. Chill like a summer breeze, groove so divine. From the cosmos to the corner, all intertwined. Retro funk with a lo-fi sway. Chill rap waves, let the podcast sing. Wisdom laced in humor, truths in disguise. Lil Joe dropping gems, open up your eyes. From late night laughs to early morning rants. Philosophies dance while the rhythm enchants. Relax, kick back, it's the vibe we sow. Straight from the mind of Lil Joe, let's go. Lil
At Esther's Place, we believe in hope, healing, and a brighter future for survivors of domestic violence. Our mission is to provide a safe haven for those who have faced unimaginable challenges. Esther's Place is more than just a transition house, it's a sanctuary where women and children who have been displaced can find protection and support. Our dedicated team believes that every survivor deserves a chance to rebuild their life and step into a successful future. We help survivors transition back to a life of independence and empowerment. Together, we stand against domestic violence, creating a community that supports, uplifts, and empowers every individual. Visit us at www.theestersplace.com or call 1-469-305-2100 to learn how you can make a difference. At Esther's Place, we believe that together, we can break the cycle and create a world where every survivor can thrive. Esther's Place is where hope finds a home.
All right. How is everybody doing this evening? Let me check the sound. Look at the sound. Everything good? Everything good? Check. How is everybody? All right. Pray everybody's doing well. This is Lil Joe again, from the mind of Lil Joe. All right. Have you ever talked to someone who never really says what they really mean? Yep, we're going to talk about it. They might say, maybe, I think so, it seems like, and are you left wondering, what in the world do they mean? Do they mean yes? Do they mean no? Today we're going to talk about this word called hedging, or hedging words. Yes, it's actual a word, it's a definition, it's a meaning, it's people know all about this. I thought, like, maybe, in the back of your mind, like, it seems like something's going on. Yes, it is a word. The word is called hedging. It's the soft language that people use to try to sound polite, unsure, and sometimes even deceptive. So, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about it. So, we're going to talk about what the Bible says. What does the Bible says? The Bible says, let your yeses be yeses and let your noes be noes. So we're going to get into it. All right, right after this. I'm sorry, I messed it up. All right, I'm back. Yeah, I'm the cameraman, I'm the producer, I'm the talking head. So I'm doing all the different positions tonight, so bear with me. All right, yes, let's get into it. Let me check my phone real quick. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get as many people online as possible. Yeah, it's a good subject. I know a lot of people have been dealing with this Um, all right, let's get into it. We are going to be talking about hedging. So, what is hedging? Hedging, the meaning is using to use I'm sorry, cautious or vague language instead of speaking directly. I know you know some people like that. They don't talk directly. They talk around in circles, and you can have a good old conversation with somebody, and you're left with like, uh, what, what? So here's some quick examples. I think we might be able to go. You ever heard somebody like, I think we might be able to go? So that's a little mixture. It's like, are we going or we're not going? We're going or not going? It seems like he's upset. I don't like, I really don't like those. He seems like he was upset. Uh, I've seen some people talking about like I think you upset the waitress. I think maybe a wife is talking to the husband and telling them they think they upset this person, upset that. How do you know if someone upsets somebody else, especially out in the public, a waitress or somebody like that? It's something we just like be feeding stuff um, to benefit our defense. Anyway, all right, let me stick with it. I'm just not gonna veer off. I guess you could say. So it's kind of like, so I'm not gonna be definite with my responses. So we just got to be loose around it. So mention how edging. So we talked about. It might sound intelligent. It might sound humble. Make you sound humble. It might sound like you are trying to be diplomatic, but it can also be totally confusing. And I think that's what how it affects a lot of people is confusing. It leaves a lot of people confused, and sometimes it can be manip- manipulate people, trying to get people to do what you want them to do in a subtle, gentle way. Um, trying to sometimes using your sweetness and kindness. Um, it's common in professionals, in most circles, uh, people do it even, like in the office setting. A lot of people do it in the home, in the household, but they do it out in the world, in the real world, the working world. And sometimes you have to deal with it. Sometimes I think it causes some conflict in certain situations, certain areas. So why do you think we've made this? Just make it normal. Why do you think we made it normal? Is it really being polite, or is it a way to avoid telling the truth? See, do I have any? Yeah. So I would like for us to talk about that. Is it being polite, or is it lying? Is it deception? Is people try to manipulate people? So what are your takes on? So I'm gonna let y'all chime in a few minutes. So let's dig into it a little bit more and let's break it down. So what are different areas of this hedging? Or why do people hedge? What's the meaning behind it? So I got several. I went. I don't know how I stumbled across this, but I dug into it a little bit. I dug into it. So it's different types of whys. So no particular order. We got one, the peacemaker. Using hedging to avoid conflicts or hurting feelings. Don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. So, I gotta confess, when I was starting to do this, studying on this, I saw myself as one of these, trying to be a peacemaker. So a peacemaker, they may say something. Maybe you're right, when they really mean you're wrong. Well, they don't want to argue. They may say some stuff or say some words to avoid an argument to be a peacekeeper. But it's not good. So we can dig deep into almost all these a little bit further, but that's number one is to try to keep peace. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a peacekeeper. We're supposed to be peacekeepers, but to lie uh, to bring peace, that lie gonna come back and bite you in the butt. It's gonna come back and get you. All right, so moving on to the second one, number two, the uncertain. Struggles to make decisions, lack of confidence, or fear of being wrong. So somebody, I don't want to be wrong. So I got to, so it's like if you're playing blackjack. It's either red or black. And they was like, well, it could be red and it could possibly be black and it could possibly be red. Sometimes it falls on black and sometimes it's red and then they walk away. I'm like, they didn't make a decision, but they left it kind of hanging so they could try to say that they was right either way. They wasn't wrong. So some they say they don't want to commit to a side, so they live in the middle of everything. They try to find a way to squeeze in the middle. Sometimes there's not even a middle, but some people try to squeeze in the middle. I remember this pastor tried to he put out a prophecy that he prophesied. You know what this joker did? This joker said, I don't know the particular order. I forgot. I do remember who it was, but I forgot exactly how he said it. But the gist of it is, he said he had a dream that Trump was going to be the president. And then he had a vision that he wasn't going to be the president. So he said both. So how can your prophecy be wrong when you throw out both? But that's how a lot of people live like that. They try to live right in between, so they can always say they was right the whole time and all the times. The manipulators. Yeah, they use hedging to mislead, to gaslight. Oh, that's gaslighting. I spent some years without really understanding this gaslighting, but now, especially on social media, I'm really learning. There's a lot of people, they are pros in this gaslighting thing. And shift blaming. Phew. Man, the shift blaming, we see a lot of, with the politics, I don't know, I've never been this deep. I don't know if because I'm getting older or what, but like I said, I'm really into seeing what's going on in politics now, and this shift blaming is unbelievable. Like, they're like kids. As soon as they come out, it's Democrats' fault. It's Republicans' fault. It's Democrats' fault. And we didn't even listen to what's going on. And yeah, some of it is your fault, but they're quick to try to put the blame or find something. But anyway, it seems childish to me. Okay, so they'll say, I didn't say it that exactly. You must have misunderstood me, or you must have misunderstood. Or the good old, you took it out of context. That's the one I'm starting to hear a whole lot too. You took it out of context. So now, when you say you take it out of context, you can send that in any direction that you want to send it in. All right, number 4 is condition. I grew up hearing it that way. I think, if they could be, maybe somebody would say something rude or something. Well, that's the way we used to do it, and that's how we should talk about it. That's how we should say it. So those are the 4. So I'm gonna dig into them a little bit more in a little bit. But so how hedging creates miscommunication and emotional distance, especially in marriage and in friendships. So here's like when in a marriage, the wife may say, honey, do you like my cooking? And that's one of those, a lot of men might think that's a trick question. Like, oh, okay, so that a lot of times men be trying to calculate in their heads, okay, if I say this, she might say this. And then somebody's like, a lot of times when the wife asks you a question, she already know what the answer is. So if she say, "Do you like my cooking?" she may be trying to get at something. He might have said something negative about her cooking. But anyway, so that's that manipulation type thing that we're talking about. And then since the husband is afraid to give a straight answer because he don't know what the consequence is going to be, he might say, "Well, it's different," or try to think of some vague word to say without saying, you can flat out say yes or no, but if it's something he really wants to say, he's afraid to say it, so you can just use other words. So that's how a lot of people weasel, I call it weasel their way out of real answers. Um, so when the kids see the spouses doing that, they learn how to do that. They learn how to talk around stuff. They know how to talk around and say different words to get away from actually saying the truth. Um, and then other people, since we starting off with the marriages um, and relationships, certain people could take being honest as being rude. So let's go back to the wife and the husband. If the husband has could be a small issue or a big issue with his wife's cooking, and she probably already know that she got a problem with the cooking, but she still want him to say she loves his cooking. And I think a lot of men we know she wants to answer yes, my cooking, your cooking is delicious, without the but but people that would like to grow and like don't mind growth, they should be able to build a relationship where both parties are able to be open and be able to tell the truth. But a lot of people, we have relationships where we know we can't really tell the 100% truth. And so other people, so some people, they can tell the truth. Some people, I feel like maybe some people get older, or mothers and older fathers, they just spit it out. They just spit their truth out. Sometimes might not be the 100% truth, but their quote unquote truth, they spit it out. They just say it. They don't care if it hurts the feelings or not. But in a marriage, yeah, we know good and well a decent husband is trying his best to make sure he don't want to. It doesn't hurt his wife's feelings. So it's this dance and this wiggling around is what's going on. So that's a lot of part of the hedging. Some of it, like I said, is to try to spare feelings. Others is trying to manipulate. So I'm trying to get different things out of people. Um, but it's all different types of, like I said, different types of relationships is used differently. But we're talking about marriages here. So like I said, some marriages, uh, the partners may not be at that level to be able to be 100% truthful, and they know that. So they know I can't be 100% honest. I can't be 100% truthful. And a lot of times my spouse know the answer, but they're expecting a different answer from you. But then if you tell the truth, they're gonna run. I'm gonna say they. With some wives, if the husband tells the truth, the wife might run off, um, run off crying. What the way? Hey, does this dress make my butt look big? The husband said, "Nope. Your butt make your butt look big." But yeah, there's some people have that relationship where they could freely talk to each other without hurting each other. So it's sometimes the truth, even you got to be truthful with yourself sometimes, and sometimes you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear yourself, or especially you have a relationship with God, and let God let you know who you are and how you are, and you should be able to tell yourself. You should be able to look in the mirror and see yourself and correct yourself, and you should have that type person in your life, especially if you're married. You should have a spouse that can be freely, honestly, and without causing harm, to be able to tell you the truth, and even friends. You need friends that not just go along with all the crazy, um, if you um, doing stuff crazy, doing things that may cause harm to yourself, they should be able to be freely to tell you the truth and not just I got to protect their feelings. So well, we just went to it was what it was an outing. Um, what well I guess the time we're in Florida. We're down in Florida. They had the Gator Bowl the other day, and it was as it started getting darker, freaks started coming out at night, and some of them were looking kind of crazy, and I was like, did they? My first question, did you look in the mirror? I know some of them, they look in the mirror, oh yeah, I know I look good before I go stepping out. And others like, did you look in the mirror? And then a lot of times they with a group of other people. And I'm like, did anybody actually tell you you shouldn't wear that? Or they just let you roll? They didn't give their honest opinion. They was like, okay, that's what she want to wear. That's what she want to wear. And she looked crazy, but that's what she want to wear. But I rather, have some decent friends like, hey, that's inappropriate, or you shouldn't wear that, or, just being able to be open and be free to be able to tell the truth. So now, like I said, when our kids are watching, they're learning from us. So the Bible talks about this, about telling the truth and being honest, and that's Ephesians 4:15. Speak the truth in love. We're supposed to be able to speak the truth, but in love. So a lot of people quick to, that's the truth. That's ugly. Or I don't like that. Or you shouldn't wear that. And just yelling stuff out, that's not in love. But to be able to speak to the person in love, to build them up, or make a suggestion, make a recommendation on something that could be better than that choice that the person made. That will help the person. But a lot of times it just comes out rudely. And we know our children are watching. So you can tell your child all day long, this is what you do and this is what you say, but they watch. They watch us. They watch what we say. They watch what we do. Okay? So I'm gonna go deeper. I'm gonna go down to dig into a few of those, like those four that I talked about, like the peacemaker. Like I said, I confess that sometimes I could be that person trying to be the peace keeper in a lot of different situations, at home and out in the public. Try to figure out a way to bring peace as quick as possible, whether I got to take the hit or not. I just want to, hey, we got to help her find a peaceful solution. But I could still, and sometimes that situation, that peacekeeper could be they figure out, I guess I say, okay, let me bite my tongue, literally bite my tongue. Don't say anything else. If you say anything else, it's going to start going down this road, and we have no idea where it's going to go down that road, so let me bite my tongue. But sometimes biting your tongue, causes you pain. But I'm at, sometimes it's like, I believe the older you get, with a lot of different minor things, like it ain't worth it. Like, okay, yeah, that bothers me this much. Is it worth having an argument over something that bothers you this much? I say no. Just let's move forward. But that may be something that's bigger than that, and you try to throw it away. That's going to come back. But I mean, small, minor things, just let it go. I believe, like I said, the older you get, the more you mature in life. A lot of these minor things, like, man, it ain't worth it. I mean, it's not. When you start cherishing every moment of your life, we know that, time is slipping away. Time is going away quick. And so you rather be unhappy and upset and argue over minor things, or for you to be able to say, you won the argument. I don't care. win all the arguments. But I look at arguments as especially in a couple, nobody wins. If you're arguing, you know, you're supposed to be one, and that one is going back and forth. Who won if one side won? If either side loses, if either side takes a hit, what I mean take a hit, not physical hit, a hit on their pride or hurt their feelings or different things like that. It's not really just that person. You become one. So if the spouse, let's say the husband and the wife get in an argument, they're going back and forth, and the husband is trying to win, and the wife is trying to win the argument, and let's say the husband wins and the woman's feeling is hurt. That's not only her feelings is hurt, that's the marriage feeling is hurt. So now if you start looking at it as the marriage as a whole and not just, being selfish, I think the ideas would change. You know what I just noticed? I'm looking at a green screen. This thing tripping. Hold on a second, people. I don't like this. I don't like. Why did you do that? Why? Dun, 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 dun. I know you don't supposed to do this when you're live, but don't mind. I take it. Took me that long. Why y'all didn't tell me my background wasn't there? But well, I told you I was a production crew too, so I got to dock my pay for missing that. But I had it set up, so I don't know why it went away. Okay. Yeah, I know you don't supposed to do it in the middle of the production, but it would have got on my nerves. I'd rather go ahead and fix it now, since I can argue and fuss at myself. All right. So, a lot of times the peacemaker wants everybody to get along. They just want peace. And I know, yes, we're supposed to be peace, but sometimes it's at the cost of losing themselves in the process. That's not the way it should be. I don't believe when the Bible says we're to be peacekeepers, but we shouldn't have it in such a way that the peacekeeper is the one that's getting beat up and bruised and stomped on, and then we're causing more issues later. It's a way to have peace for everybody to come out whole. So a lot of times the peacekeepers or the peacemakers, they hate confrontations. I hate confrontations, and believe silence or softness keeps peace. They often confuse peacekeeping with peacemaking. Okay, a common phrase. It's fine. I heard everybody say, it's fine. Everything is fine. Even if there's a problem, even if there's still an issue, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Maybe, but it's not that serious. I don't want to cause any trouble. Whatever you want, or whatever you want to do, it's fine with me. How many wives use that on their husbands? Wherever you want to go, it's fine with me. And he started picking some stuff out. No, I don't want that. Pick something. Nope, I don't want that. Nope, I don't want that. But whatever you pick is fine with me. A lot of men, man, we be like, I don't know what to do right. I want to do right, but I care for whatever I do is the wrong thing. She know how to get me in a corner and get me in trouble. And the man be trying his best, trying to stay out of trouble, trying to stay out of the corner. We get caught up in that loop and get caught up. So we hear it. We hear that. It's fine. And then we as I'm just I guess I'm gonna spend a lot of time with the husbands. We started to understand what the woman says and what comes out of her mouth and the tone and the looks on her face. When that don't match, we know, like, okay, what do you mean? It's like, no, I said it's fine. Oh, you done said with your body language that is not fine. You done said with your tone that is not fine. So we know it's not fine. No, it's fine, it's fine. So now we step. Or the don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. That body language and the tone is telling a total different story. So we know. And then a lot of times, men, we don't know how to read between the lines. So a lot of times, what we're saying is being the you know, it's kind of like a false sense of peace. So we know if we're not dealing with it right now, the tensions are really getting higher, and it's going to be a bigger problem later. And even with the "it's fine," or so maybe some men are like, okay, she said it's fine. You don't know what to do next, so they move on, going about the business, and then now the wife or the girlfriend, she may be still upset. Why are you upset? Because you didn't solve the issue, but you said it was fine. But you knew it wasn't fine. But you said it was fine. So we went off, you said it was fine. But she didn't really mean it was fine, but he supposed to have figured out and read her mind that it wasn't fine. So yeah, men, like I said, a lot of men get caught up in that, not knowing what to do. So that's how to recognize. They rarely, um, like I was just saying, like the body expressions and the tone, um, and sometimes people they force themselves to smile when they're upset. And I guess if you don't spend a lot of time with your particular spouse, you know this what's a real smile and what's a fake smile. Um, they argue in public, but vent in private. They argue in public, but vent in private. They apologize even when they're not wrong. I remember my mom. My mom was overly apologetic. I mean, if it's a such thing, yeah, she apologized for everything, or she say something. We would have a Bible study, and she just gave her opinion, and everybody was like, okay. We're glad that she gave her opinion. She would call me just about every time after our Bible study. I used to have a call-in Bible study I think it was every Thursday. I think I did it for almost 7 years. I call-in Bible study for 7 years, and my mom she called in a lot, and I would try to get everybody to have open discussion. And but a lot of times when my mom would call in, she would say different things, and afterwards she'd just be sitting there thinking, and then she'd call back, oh man, I hope when I said this, it didn't hurt this person's feelings. I hope when I said that. I was like, I was always telling her, you don't have to apologize. It's the opinion, like it was not an opinion. It was like a personal opinion or something she wanted to say, but she just had this. She had to apologize. So that's a good trait to be willing to apologize. But I think she was at that point where it was like everything, just about anything she said, she thought about it a lot and just kept on chewing on it. And it's like maybe I said it in the wrong tone, or maybe they took it the wrong way. So she was always like looking at herself. I believe she was trying to make sure that she wasn't putting out anything wrong. And like I said, she was quick to apologize. And I'm like, some of this, like, that is nothing. It was just I don't know. Like I said, some of the stuff that she was apologizing for, I couldn't believe that somebody would be apologizing over it. I don't have any examples right now, but yeah, she would apologize a lot over just about anything. Um, then some of these people they rarely express disagreements openly. well, like I said, they really keep a lot of stuff for themselves, keep it balled up. But I can give it me from experience. If you if you're that type of person, a lot of times you may end up blowing up at the wrong time. Or I can remember as a child, I I would hold stuff in, call myself trying to keep peace, even with my siblings, hold it in, hold it in, hold it in, hold it in, and then finally, I got this. I believe my the one that antagonized, and picked on me and poked on me the most was my oldest sister. I believe, yeah, I believe it was her. And I would hold stuff in for so long, and then I can remember one time I went crazy. I call it. I just couldn't hold it back anymore. And I don't remember exactly what I said or what I did, but when I did it, it it was like, well, I guess over time. Let's say, imagine over time you just doing small things, 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 and you just hold it all in, and then about that 50th small thing, that person goes crazy and snaps and is ready to fight and about ready to kill you, and all this person that's a hedge, that's been a hedge. All I did was this one little thing, and then you standing in front of your mama. All I did was this little thing, and I'm like, no, she did. She been doing this for, and now looking at me like, Joe crazy. He getting that mad over that little bitty thing, but in reality, it was 49 other ones that I didn't say nothing about. I just held it in. I just whatever, 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 whatever. But it was still, it was piling up on the inside. And it was, same time, I remember a dude at school. I didn't like to fight, but it was one dude. He was doing the same thing. Dee, 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 dee. I think that's the only, yeah, that one time that I did get, oh, I got suspended one time, and it was this bad boy that was doing that to me. And I planned my, I don't call it revenge, but I came up with a plan. And I was like, when he walks out the building, I'm going to run up behind him. I'm going to grab him around his neck and choke him, and don't let go until he's not breathing anymore. And that's what that's what I did. I ran up, I got him, and I was holding on. I had a tight grip like a bulldog. I was not letting go, so now he couldn't fight me because I was holding him. So that I ended up getting suspended for that. But that's one of those small things, and I guess he was like, why in the world this boy trying to kill me over me just picking at him? But it had done went for so long that I didn't have a relief. It was no relief valve other than it built up so much till I was ready to kill him. So that's not good for people who do like that, to try to hold things in, to try to keep peace. No, you better let that out. You got to let that out. So we see the news where some of these people, oh, they were so nice, they were so sweet. I don't know why they drove their car through the building. Yeah, that person, they didn't know how to regulate their feelings. Okay. I got another example. A husband says, let's invite my family over for the weekend. The wife's feeling overwhelmed. She says softly, sure, if that's what you want. Oh, that's that. If that's what you want. So now that's a whole lot. If that's what you want, that's a whole bunch of piling on the husband's back. So that means if anything goes wrong or anything that doesn't go right, all the blame is going to be on you because that's what you wanted. So that blame got shifted. But inside, the wife is mad. She doesn't want to fight, so she holds it in. But that man knows. He knows. So some men will go ahead and, some probably just, all right, they're going about their business and going to do what they want to do. But there's other husbands they read between the lines and go and have a discussion uh, with the wife and see if they can come up with a agreeable solution. And others, okay, since we can't come up with an agreeable solution, um, let's not do it. But then sometimes the wife, well, I don't want them to think that I did this and blah 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 blah. So now we in that loop. But we need solve that. And then let's say he's the one that goes ahead and does it without really getting her on board. So now we at the dinner, and she explodes, and she's yelling and screaming while the family's there because she was upset over something or something that didn't get resolved, but she didn't feel, I don't know, there's so many different reasons she didn't have that discussion with her husband before the family got there. But yeah, we should be able to get to that point. Hey, you got to have a relief valve. You got to be able to open your mouth. So then again, kind of like I said with that scenario with me going off on my sister those years ago when we was children. So now the husband is blindsided because he didn't know. Some men might know what's going to happen, that she's upset, and some of them they don't. But then all of a sudden, I imagine, like I said, the family is sitting there. We think everything is going smooth, but the wife is holding stuff in, and she's boiling and upset, and then all of a sudden she explodes, and everybody's shocked. Even the husband is shocked and confused. And I thought you said, I thought it was cool. Some people can read your face and read your emotion and read the subtleties, and some can't. And those who can't, they shouldn't, be expected to read minds. I think there's a lot of relationships where one or the other, not to say all, it's not always women, but a lot of women over my almost more than half a century here on Earth, seeing a whole lot of different relationships, seeing a whole lot of different people. I've seen and been in a lot of relationships. I've seen many times where a lot of women expect their men, boyfriends, husbands, to be able to read their mind, or they can say one thing and really mean something else. But he's supposed to catch on and figure out there's something else. And then if he doesn't, he's in trouble for not catching on. And that causes problems, in relationships. Peacemakers think they're avoiding drama, but by not addressing the truth early, they can cause bigger explosions later. I can admit, and I believe, yes, that is 100% true. So it's best to deal with stuff as soon as possible, to let it out. Go ahead and deal with it before it builds up, and especially before you are in the wrong, wrong atmosphere, wrong place. So what does the Bible say? Blessed are the peacemakers. That's Matthew 5:9, not peacekeepers. Real peace comes from truth told in love. So you just heard me say peacemakers, but not peacekeepers. So the difference, the peacekeepers will do whatever it takes to try to keep the peace. But keeping the peace is like trying to hold it together, trying to hold something that's really not really working. That's what I'm trying to keep the peace without the truth being involved. The peacemakers tells the truth, tell them how they really feel. That's making peace. But the peacekeepers are the one that's trying to. They're not telling the truth. They're not letting the truth out. But we're trying to keep it. So you're trying to hold it together yourself, and then you explode. But by telling the truth, you're the peacemaker. So the Bible tells us to be peacemakers, but not peacekeepers. So now we're going to the uncertain ones. So some of these bleed over to each other. They want someone else to make the choice. So they have someone to blame. A lot of wives. I'm telling a lot of wives. They don't want to go ahead and make a decision. They want to leave it open. So it's the husband that makes the decision. So if he picks the wrong restaurant, or if he picks the wrong thing, if he picks something wrong, he's going to get blamed. Because I don't want to be blamed. I want to blame him. I don't even want to get upset with myself. So I need to push off to him and make sure he is the one that gets blamed. So they fear responsibilities. They're more comfortable with letting others decide so they can criticize the outcome. Mm-hmm. We want to be able to say it's not. They like to point and say it's somebody else's fault. So I'm letting you make the decision so I don't get the blame. That's not cool in relationships, but it happens all the time. What happened to? Hold on. So what do they usually say? I don't know. What do you think? So you ask that person that's trying to push the blame off instead of them making a decision and them making, giving their opinion. Some people, it's probably men too, but some people who don't want to be held accountable. So we ask them something. I don't know. What you think? Whatever you decide is fine. But I don't want this and this and this. But whatever you decide, it's on you. I was going to, but you said. You're the one who wanted to do that. You see, you keep on pointing. I didn't say yes. I just didn't say no. You see, you can't hold me down on nothing. Can y'all believe some politicians is doing the same thing? It's like, it's constantly, it's you. I didn't make no decisions. So anything that goes wrong is not on me. All the fault goes to you. And it's hard, I can't imagine millions of people in relationships like that. Like I said, I know the politics are like that. Imagine being on a job like that, where people don't want to make decisions because they don't want to be the one that's in trouble. But some people, that's your job. You got to make the decision. The buck stops with you. But in relationships, it's not in stone like that. So you can point your finger and blame someone else. So how do you recognize them? They rarely commit to a solid decision. They rarely, you ask them a question, they rarely, no, they can be vague and avoid coming up with a solid decision. They consistently do the wait and see. Instead of them deciding, making a decision, they want to wait and see what you have to say so we can, again, put the blame on somebody else. They shift accountability with subtle words. It was your decision, or you weren't brought up with, you the one brought up in the first place. So it's constantly be able to blame somebody else. They seem agreeable, but later they're resentful. Like when we're still talking about it, yeah, I don't really care. I don't really mind whatever you decide. It's all nice and peaceful. Like I said, if the wrong restaurant is chosen, or the wrong hotel is chosen, or the wrong vacation, just anything that comes up wrong, and there's certain people, they rather criticize and complain and talk about that other person, and so I didn't make the decision, so it's not me. You the one made the bad decision. Okay, so next time I'm gonna let you make the decision. Nope. You need to get better making decisions, because they want to keep on pointing the blame at you. Okay, so here's a scenario. A couple is deciding whether to move to a new city. The wife says, "You decide, babe. I'll support you in whatever decision that you make." Later, they moved to a city, and the wife don't like don't like the city, don't like the house, don't like the traffic. Then she say, "Well, you're the one who wanted us to move here." So now the man is going to be defensive. Like, I thought we did this together, but as a team. But a lot of some people, they decide like, yeah, but if any kind of blame, we're not going to be blamed as a team. I'm just going to pick you to blame all the problems. Anything goes wrong, I'm going to pick you and pick on you and talk about you. And anytime I got any kind of complaints, I'm going to say it's your fault because you're the one that chose the thing. It's like now a lot of men, they done figured that out. So now they're like, nope, we're going to talk about this together. We're going to work on this together and come up with a conclusion together. So I don't get blamed. It's a us decision and just not a my decision. But it keeps the uncertainty, the uncertain person safe. So they feel safe that I'm not going to get blamed for anything. They would go about their life being just as innocent and as if they were the smartest one, and as if they never did anything wrong. They did nothing wrong. That one, that husband of mine, he the one did this. He the one made this decision. He the one made this choice instead of we made this and we figured out together. You made this problem, you need to go, solve it. So that can cause a rift. That can cause a great divide in relationships and especially marriages if you have one spouse that's constantly doing that, that's constantly not wanting to help in a decision, but then if anything goes wrong in the decision, we're going to continue to point the blame and poke at them for their decision. So, and then you end up getting to the point where that person's not going to make any kind of, any suggestions. He's not. Restaurant, nope, not going to pick the restaurants because if it's something that person don't like, I'm going to get attacked because they don't like the particular restaurant. You know, you know, let's go do something. No, nope, I can't. I'm not going to pick that because you can talk about that. What about a movie? I'm not going to pick the movie because if you don't like the movie, I'm going to get talked about and poked about because I picked the wrong movie. So that's technically, or it's really turned the relationship apart, little bit by piece, by constantly wanting to point the blame and not having any accountability or any responsibility or any not making joint decisions. So if it does go wrong, if does something comes up that either party don't like, it shouldn't be pointing the fingers. That's we decided is it didn't work out. It's going to work out better the next time around. So it keeps them safe. It may make the other person feel like the scapegoat in every choice. That's what I was just saying. It's like if that person, if they always get blamed for stuff that doesn't go right, yeah, they feel like the scapegoat. So now nobody wants to be the scapegoat all the time. So that person's going to start avoiding making any decision. So imagine two people. One, they don't want to make a decision because they want to point at that person. Then that person don't want to make a decision because they don't want to be the scapegoat. They don't want to get blamed. So you at an impasse. Now y'all bumping heads. Like now you ain't really going nowhere because neither one of you are making the decisions. That's bad. Um, then when someone always leaves the conflict, I'm sorry. Yeah. When someone always leaves the final choice to you, they're really saying, I want you to carry the blame for both of us. I'm going to say that one more time. When someone always leaves the final choice to you, they're really saying, I want you to carry the blame for both of us. So I can be able to point to you and say, you did this. I'm going to go talk to my friends and say, he brought us to this place. The place was nasty and the food wasn't good and this and that. So now the man got his head held down. Okay, then another place. All the desserts was horrible, and he the one chose the place. Oh, the movie wasn't good. He chose the place. Man, women, that man is gonna shut down, and you ain't gonna get nothing out of him. You, you might end up not even going anywhere because it's not worth the. That's that. You remember that little that poking. Yeah, and even if you're saying it in fun, it still builds up over time. So where I'm coming from, speaking as a man, you don't want that constant blame or the constant you don't know how to choose, or you keep on making mistakes and you making bad choices. Like it may be small, or you may even crack some jokes about it, but it builds up. So the man wants to be the man. He wants to be one that the, the 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 spouse, the wife looks up to, and even the children. So if a man sees the wife constantly blaming the father for making bad choices, and we he planned this trip for us to come to the mountains, and this place is all messed up, or they didn't have the room ready, and whatever goes wrong, and they able, that spouse able to constantly put the blame on the husband, and the children sees that, that's really turn them down. So instead of, this is us, we are a couple, and we, even if the wife didn't have any input, well, let's say the wife, um, she did all the planning. I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I don't know how. It might be some men, but most men that I know, if um, if a woman if the wife makes some plans and everything falls apart, a decent man, he's not going to be jumping all over his wife and saying, "Why did you choose this place?" and "Why didn't you make sure that you read all the comments about it? Make sure that you did some research." All constantly blaming her and nagging her about it. I don't see many men doing that to their wives, but I have seen in many cases where the wives will do that to their husbands. They will just nitpick and rip them apart for something that didn't turn out right, and most of it out of his control. But a lot of the wives are like, "Yeah, you chose this, and you did this, and you did this, and on and on and on and on and on." But then he could think, "Wait, I asked you to help with this, but you told me to do it. You didn't want to be part of it." She was already making sure that she's innocent. I'm not saying not all women do this. I'm just saying some women, again, and some men, they try to make sure they stay innocent. So they pass the buck, make you do it. Anything doesn't go right, you get to blame you, and then they don't they don't have to take any of the responsibility. All right, so we're talking about, so where is it in the Bible? James 1:8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. A double-minded man or woman is unstable in all their ways. Indecision can destroy trust and direction. All right. So, let me see. I got a lot of comments over there, but just got a little bit more to go. I'm sorry, trying to get back to where my notes were. I got my notes mixed up. I messed up. Well, let me go to. All right, I think yeah. So what did the Bible say about this subject we're talking about? Matthew 5:37. Let your yes be yes. I think I said that earlier when we started. Let your yes be yes, and your no's be no's. Anybody anything beyond this comes from evil. So what does that mean? Let your yes be yes and your no's be no's. You have to make a decision. You got to tell the truth. You got to be straightforward and say what you mean what you say. That's another way of saying it. Say what you mean what you say, or don't try to leave it so loose and open so you can um, what's that level of deniability? That means, so if it turns, like you remember what I told you about the blackjack situation, you can either say, if you say it was red or it was black, then you're trying to say, well, I did say red and I did say black. So either way, you're right. That's not yet. That's not your yeses being yes and your no's being no's. And like I said, a spouse asking you a question and you give them a vague answer, or they walking away, they really don't know what the true answer is. Even a child or coworker, you can, or let's say a manager that really don't want to make a decision, or can I take Friday off? And it depends on if this person comes in, or if it snows, or if the storm don't come through, if the creek don't flood. Say they just throwing something in there to try to kick the can down the road without actually making a decision. So scriptures tell us we need to say, let our yes be yes and let our no's be no's. And that's also a level of integrity, a level of integrity where people can tell, like, this person's, they're not going to just come out and tell me what they really mean, or they're not going to tell the truth. They're just going to give me a bunch of words, and we just got to read between the lines of what they really mean. Those type of people, you're really not going to do no business with that type person. If you try to do business and that person talks like that, yeah, the word's going to get around. No, that person's not trustworthy. They don't say what they mean. They don't mean what they say. They just talk. So you never know what the results are going to be. So, yeah, that's very bad for business. So over in Proverbs 12:22, the Lord detests lying lips, but he delighteth in people who are trustworthy. And again, if you are not, what people are trying not to lie and not tell the truth and not really say what I really mean, but you're trying to walk that fine line. But a lot of times that's really the overall is lying, especially if you're trying to get out. You're trying to, what they call it, straddling the fence. When you're trying to straddle the fence, you're trying to be on both sides, and then so if you still got half your foot on one side, that's still still a lie. That's a half a lie is a whole lie. All right, Ephesians 4:15, speak the truth in love. Yeah, so we're talking about speaking the truth, but it's a way to do it. It's a way to speak the truth in love without causing harm. And especially you might have to learn the person or build up the ability to be able to speak the truth to a person. Yeah, it's certain people, you probably got some friends. You got one friend, you can just straight up tell them, that don't look good on you, or you shouldn't wear that, and they like, okay, and they go take it off. You got another friend, hey girl, you shouldn't wear that don't look right. Oh, you calling me fat? And they can go run off and crying, and now y'all not friends no more. So now you start saying different things to try to keep that person from crying all the time. That's really not a real relationship. That's not a real friendship. And even if that's in marriages, that's really not you can't build a strong relationship if you got to constantly think of lies to keep from hurting somebody's feelings. It's already over an hour. I can remember, on our TV channel we have some Andy Griffin episodes, some old Andy Griffin episodes. But this is one episode that I remember. I don't remember all about it. I remember this one, and it's similar to this, what we're talking about. Aunt B wanted to enter in a pickle contest. So Aunt B made some pickles. She didn't know how to make the pickles. The pickles were horrible. But Andy and Barney and Opie, I think Andy told them, hey, don't tell her that they taste bad. Tell her they taste good. Okay, so she made all these bottles and jars, these jars and jars of pickles. And instead of telling her they was bad, they told her they was good. So they went ahead and ate them, even though they couldn't stand them. Since they told her that they was good, she kept making them. So they had to keep eating them. Well, you see, they was trying not to hurt her feelings, but they ended up causing harm to themselves for eating bad pickles. So it would have been better off telling her at the beginning these pickles are not good. She either could have cried and stopped making pickles, or she could have went in there and redid it and tested it until she got them to be some better pickles. So then I think she entered into like a pickle competition. I can't remember that part, but that reminds me of like sometimes with people we see on American Idol. Uh, I guess this is my last story. I used to I was recording this. I've been recording for years. So one year, American Idol came to Jacksonville, and I ran down there. So I was gonna get some footage of all the different people who, after they finished performing, they came outside. So I thought I was gonna be on the winning side. I really didn't know where the people was coming out, but I saw a bunch of people coming out. I think they had the numbers and something on them. So I went over there and set my camera up and said, can I record you? And tell me your name and everything, and then you're going to sing. So some people ran from the camera. Other people they couldn't wait to get on the camera, and some of them just started to sing. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Then I figured out I was on the losing side. With someone they couldn't carry a tune. They couldn't carry a note, but their family would tell them, oh girl, you sing so good. Oh girl, you sing so good, because they didn't want to hurt their feelings. But then by not telling the truth and avoid hurting their feelings, now some of these people ended up on national TV and getting people to laugh at them even more. So now you got millions of people laughing at them. Now with the social media, they can make memes out of them and spread around the world. It can go viral over somebody who can't sing, and now they're like, oh, why didn't you tell me that I can't sing? But you let me get out here and go global, go around the world, and I'm the laughing stock of the world because you couldn't tell me the truth. You wanted to preserve my feelings, and now it's worse. I'm distraught. I'm destroyed. Everybody, my job and everywhere laughing at me because you couldn't be truthful for me and tell me that I couldn't sing. But okay, I digress. I am way over. I got to look over here to see some comments, or maybe. Well, my last points. The Bible teaches clarity, honesty, and integrity in your speech. So that's why I didn't spend a whole hour talking about this. We should have clarity, honesty, and integrity. So if those three things are not in our conversation, we may be being deceptive. Sometimes we're trying to preserve somebody's feelings, but we still, no matter how it goes down, we need those three things. We need clarity. People need to be clear in understanding what you mean. You say what you're saying, and what you mean, and what you mean is what you're saying, and you're being honest, not fibbing or white lying to try to preserve feelings, and you are doing it in integrity. Our Heavenly Father, Jesus he never hedged with his words. So that's what this thing is called when we use these different words. It's called hedging. He never hedged his word. He spoke directly, but always with compassion. So I need to check myself. If I use these hedging words, I need to figure out how to be able to speak with the clarity, with the honesty, and with integrity, but also with compassion. And we need also being clear doesn't mean cruel. A lot of people, they don't know the difference. They're just some rude and crude and just let stuff just fly out of their mouth any kind of way. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what the Bible's saying. But it's a way to be clear without being rude, and it then leads to trustworthiness. If you're able to tell somebody the truth the right way, they're going to come to you again with other things for you to help them with the truth. All right, all right, all right. Let me jump over here real quick before we go. See if it's anything. That's what I'm gonna do. Oh, this is what I'm gonna do. Thank y'all for bearing with me on my technical difficulties earlier, but we are good to go. Good to go. Good to go. Oh. This might be way back in the conversations. Um, she wanted to make sure you weren't upset about anything. Definitely overthinker. I do that. I got it from her. She was a true empathizer. Oh, talking about my mom. How my mom would apologize. Uh, she would apologize about anything, or she was like, she'll call me. What I said. Did you think that? Do you think did it come out right? Yes, it came out right. It came out perfectly. Or I shouldn't have said it. I was like, I spent a lot of time encouraging her to speak up and speak her mind. I believe I got a lot of that to hold stuff in and not let it out and try not to hurt people's feelings. I guarantee I got that from my mom. But I don't have it as bad as she had it, because it's like she was constantly concerned that I hope I didn't hurt that person's feelings. I hope the way I said that didn't hurt their feelings. We can go somewhere and we talk to people and come back home. Oh, I hope I didn't hurt their feelings about what I like. You said it just as nice as could be. And, a lot of people, they walk out feeling good, but she still would analyze and rethink and be like, Joe, do you think I said that? You think I hurt their feelings by saying that? It's like, no. So I'm constantly telling her, and then I was really pushing her. You need to say more. You need to say more, especially a lot of people, they looked up to her and wanted to hear more from her, and they wanted to hear the truth. And I know, after she passed, a lot of people was coming to me telling me how she would encourage them online. So that's what she was a quiet, seemed quiet, but I didn't realize how many people that she was in communication with, how many people she was following and encouraging them. So yeah, she was helping people, but she was constantly concerned about she was making sure that she didn't hurt people's feelings. But I think that's a good thing. But sometimes it's a balance. Just about everything in life is a balance. So I'd like to thank y'all. Pop Krista up. Yeah, I want to thank y'all for joining in this evening. It seems like I have an issue, or a lot of people saying that they're not seeing the lives, and I go look at it. They let me see their phones, and I see that the lives and stuff is missing off of their phones. I don't understand what that is. So anybody know what's going on with that, let me know. And again, thanks everybody. We had our 4th year celebration here. I'm actually in the studio now. I think that's why I got a green screen, but I'm in the big old the new studio ever right now by myself. So I want to thank God for that, to be able to be here to use that. And also I thank God, and thank everybody who joined in with our 4-year celebration. Thank you much. But continue to move forward. Again, I keep on saying it. Thank y'all for joining in. And until next time, y'all, like I said, I would like for y'all to start joining in. We did a show. I had someone with me last night. If y'all missed it, we was talking about finance. We was talking about the SNAP program, Medicare, Medicaid, retirement. So a lot of things that people are concerned. So I had a special guest with me last night. So I don't know why my computer acted crazy today. But yeah, I got a lot of good stuff lined up. And after we did the celebration, we got a lot of new shows that's going to come to the channel. So we're going to be bringing these new shows to the live stream, and some people will be interviewing some of the people, and then we're going to be producing their shows and putting them on the channel. But we're still looking for input and feedback from you guys. Let me know what you would like to see. Let me know what you would like to learn about. Let me know what you would like to talk about. All right. Okay. Everybody have a blessed evening to the uttermost. God loves you and wants you to live. All right. Lil Joe out.
Lil Joe's mind a maze of gold, from jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul. Lil Joe's mind a maze of gold, from jokes to truth, stories untold. Pull up a chair, let the convo roll. It's the mind of Lil Joe, feeding your soul. Talk about the world from the wild to the mild. Every topic on the table, thoughts free and wild. Chill like a summer breeze, groove so divine. From the cosmos to the corner, all intertwined.